Yeah. Hi my friends, Scott Grove here. Today with some blues rhythm stuff that's going to be very easy. It's just 2 fingers on the same 2 strings within 2 frets of each other. And we're going to be doing the whole regular blues thing from A to D, back to A, up to the E, back to the D, back to the A. So very typical 12-bar blues thing. It is rhythm, it's not lead. You can make some lead out of this if you are creative. But yeah, we're going to keep in the back of our mind the typical, type of stuff. But we're using 2 fingers on 2 frets, or 2 frets away from each other, I should say. Total of 3 frets. And they're going to be on the same 2 strings. Okay? I'm going to use a note for reference. Now and then just use an open string to let you hear the chord that is passing underneath. So if we're like in A, D, back to A, okay, so you hear how those notes are so close together that they're going to work amazingly here. When we get to the E, D, back to A. Okay, so you can use these any way you want, meaning I'm going to show you some variations. Okay, the variations are going to be like this because I like to throw in what we're going to cover, and those of you who are more advanced can catch these and get out of here before I actually teach a little more in depth. So the little variations will be okay, that kind of thing. So I will be teaching that as well. Okay, so what we're doing is actually breaking down a full A bar chord. And what we're going to use are just simply the D and the G string. Okay, because we're using the 7th of the bar chord, which is a G note, because if we're an A, to make a 7th, you just go back 2 frets. And then I'm just adding the 3rd. And the whole concept of this is to keep everything on the same 2 strings. So then when I go to a D chord, which is actually that, if I look in the middle on the same 2 strings, which again is the point of this whole thing, to make it as easy as possible and still sound clever, okay, and musical. If I look on the same 2 strings, man, they're the same as what was up here, okay, which are in the A, we're looking at any 2 fingers you want to use, doesn't matter. I like to use the middle finger on the D string at the 5th fret and the ring finger on the 6th fret on the G when we're in A. I'm using my thumb on the A string again to just let you know that we're in A. Okay, and of course you can do that any rhythm you want. If it's going E, B. Okay, it'd be like that. Or, again, whatever you feel. But you can't go wrong, and you're only on 2 strings. And you're not changing anything. It's like your fingers are glued together. Okay, so in A again, you're at the 5th fret on the D string and 6th fret on the G. When we move to D, now to D, you just move everything back 1 fret. Back to A, move it up 1 fret, where we started. Guess what? When we go to E, we actually go up 1 fret from what we're playing in the A. So we're on 6 and 7 as far as frets go, D and G strings. If you were to go to the D now, you go backward 2 frets. Okay, so that's the only time where it's just not exactly 1 fret back, but we're only in a 2 fret radius here. So again, A right here, and I'm adding the low strings. D, back to A, E up 1 fret, D back 2 frets, A up 1 fret. If you want to do the da 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 from the D to the E, just do what you do in D, slide it up 2 frets to where you do the E thing. Okay, now that is it. Okay, again, just listen for your backing tracks. Okay, if it's you be doing you just slide up to them, which is what I'm going to get to next. That's the alternate little thing I was going to show you, and that is when you're playing these, you can always slide them up from anywhere and you'll be fine. If you're doing a slower thing, it sounds cool to just go 1 fret behind and slide into it. So that's all there is to this. It's just a nice, simple thing to add to whatever it is you do. What this came from is basically a horn line. Okay, so if you think about this in the way that horns would play, and listen to some old blues stuff, and horns might be longer instead of bum, bum, okay? Might be whatever you think the horns should be doing, think about it in that aspect instead of how a guitar would play it, because if you're playing what we're playing here, that means you probably have a bass player going. That's why we're not playing the root notes. We're leaving those out. We're playing the 7th and the 3rd, okay, on this thing. We're not even playing the A. Okay, so it's filled out by the band or the backing track or whatever. So that's it. I have another lesson that I'm doing directly after this one. So come back and grab it too. It's similar to this in that everything is going to be easily interchangeable like this from chord to chord. Going to be in the same key and change keys just a little bit. But of course that one there you can just change keys to whatever. Just follow the same premise and you'll be fine. Okay, you guys take care and see you on the next lesson. Bye-bye.